3.1 Solving two-step equations. In this lesson, I will teach you how to solve equations that involve more than one step. Part A. Solve the equation and then check your solution. So we're going to use subtraction and division to solve. Before we isolate the variable x, we need to subtract -1 to both sides. I simply took the opposite of +1 to get -1. I'm going to bring down the 4x. 5 minus 1 is 4. X equals to 1. I'm going to mentally plug in 1 for x in the original equation to see if it works. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Check, it works. And for the next one, I'm going to subtract 8 to both sides of the equation. Bring down 3n. 2 minus 8 gives me -6. Divide 3 to both sides. N would equal to -2. Let's do a quick check. 3 times -2 is -6, plus 8 is +2. Check. Again, subtract 20, subtract 20. -18 equals 6h, and h would equal to -3. Do a quick check. 6 times -3 is -18, plus 20 is 2. Check. Now I'm going to show you how to use addition and then multiplication to solve two-step equations. So first we need to take the opposite of -3, which is positive 3, and add it to both sides of the equation. Bring down x over 2, and then simplify the right-hand side, which is 4, and then multiply both sides by this reciprocal of 1 over 2, which is 2. Could cancel out the 2 on the left-hand side. Bring down the x. 4 times 2 is 8. Can do a quick check. 8 divided by 2 is 4, minus 3 is 1. Good. And here, add 8 to both sides of the equations. We always want to first deal with the constant and move it to the side with another constant or number, because our goal is to isolate the variable. 12 plus 8 is 20. Recopy f over 2. And now I can multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 1 over 2. And now I can continue to solve for my variable f. 2 times 20 is 40. Let's do a quick check. 40 divided by 2 is 20. 20 minus 8 is 12. Okay, again, to isolate the variable c, we need to first move -2 to the right-hand side by adding +2 to both sides of the equation. 6 plus 2 is 8. Cancel. C equals 48. Okay, let's look at some equations that involve negative coefficients. Remember, coefficient means a term that has a number with a variable. Okay, so again, we need to deal with the constant positive 12. Take the opposite of that, -12. Cancel out. Bring down negative 4x, negative 12 gives me negative 24. We're not multiplying here, okay? We're adding two negative integers. Then we divide by negative 4, cancel, and your final answer is 6. The next one, subtract 8.2. Divide both sides. You should get negative 5. Write the verbal sentence as an equation and then solve the equation. 6 more than the product of 3 and a number. So 6 more than the product, which is multiplication, 3 and a number, equals 7. Subtract 6 to both sides. Bring down 3n. 7 minus 6 is 1, and that's 1/3. 10 plus the quotient of 3 and a number. So this should be in parentheses. 3 and a number is 5. So we subtract 10 to both sides. And then n should be negative 3 over 5. Okay, let's take a look at some more problems that involve two-step equations. Driving. Your family is taking a long-distance car trip. You begin with 16 gallons of gasoline in the fuel tank. Your car uses 3 gallons of gasoline per hour of driving. You will stop to refuel when there is exactly 1 gallon of gasoline remaining in the tank. About how many hours will you need to stop to refuel? So here are your facts. 16 gallons of gasoline. And in the tank, 3 gallons per hour consumed when driving, and you will need to stop when there is exactly 1 gallon left. Refuel 1 gallon left. So your car. Okay, let t equals the number of hours. Three times t would tell you how much gasoline will be consumed after t hours. And you will need to add 1 because you need to stop to refuel when there's exactly 1 gallon of gasoline left. And the total amount of gasoline that the car can hold is 16 gallons. Now that you have the equation set up, you can solve for t. Subtract 1 to both sides. Bring down 3t. 16 minus 1 is 15. T would equal 3 hours. Okay, now let's take a look at another problem. Car repair. The total cost of repairing a car is the sum of the amount paid for the parts and the amount paid for the labor. So here, this first sentence not only tells you about what the word problem is about, it also gives you an important piece of information. Total cost equals the sum of parts plus labor. You paid $78 for parts. That's a fixed cost. It won't change. And then you pay $45 for each hour of labor. So that's a cost that will change every hour. So we need to take 45 and multiply it by T for time. The total cost to repair the car is $168. So I could put that under TC, TC for total cost. And the question asks you, how many hours did it take to repair the car? Let T equal the number of hours. So now, by listing the facts and goals, I can actually see an equation already. So 168 equals 78 plus 45t. And I'm going to subtract 78 to both sides and solve for t. T will be 2. So 2 hours. As you can see, what I did here was break down the strategy I have here for solving word problems. Here, I'm planning. I listed facts and goals, and in this case, I didn't need to draw a picture. Sometimes drawing a picture will help. And then I defined my variable. And after setting up my equation, I solved neatly vertically. And now I can plug in 2 back into the original equation to see if my answer works. 45 times 2 is 90. 90 plus 78 gives me 168. Check. So 2 hours is the correct answer. And that concludes our lesson for today.